maybe after the show would have Thank you.
And I also have very close to me, Deputy Coordinator, North Ondo State Youth Network, Oluwasegun Daudu. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me here today.
I'm going to start with you. Which age bracket belongs to you? Because there are times you see someone who is like 40, 50. Today.
Yeah, thank you very much. First and foremost, we're celebrating International Youth Day.
Okay.
And it was by the United Nations. And that is cut across everybody, everyone, we circle in the world today. And they have a definition of their own age bracket from 15 years to 24. While in Nigeria, we have our own bracket constitutional. Section 91, subsection 1 talks about from 15 to 35, 15 to 35 of age, while the African Youth Charter have its own from 15 to 35. But we Africa and the concept of Nigeria here, you know, probably because of our policy or because of our developing states, so many times we have at 40 years still youth, 45. Some policies that have not been touched to, that have not been cut across, that have cut across all sectors. And that's why you see someone at age 40, because at the level of age 35, what you should have achieved, you could not achieve that. So at level of 40, you're still feeling like I could achieve that with the status of a youth, which is not. And at the level of 45, he's thinking he could achieve that. But for me, I believe at 35 years, you leave the state and leave the state for the younger ones.
Wow, you have really, really brought a lot of, you are causing a lot, going to cause a lot of war for yourself today. By saying that someone who is 35 should live the same.
Yes.
Wow.
There's a lot of things, right?
Because we are going to monitor you when you're 35.
Yeah, I'm even planning towards that.
All right, let me go to you, Mr. Awule. Section whatever in the Constitution say that a 15-year-old is of the youth age.
Like you said earlier, the climb of each country determines like what they do. For Nigeria, we would always notice that youth get into the university at 16 years old, and then we have them coming out at 20. So if you have people who are coming out and then they are not getting jobs until maybe 35, 40, then they would have to buy time for themselves. So this gives rise to the fact that we don't have like susceptible plans to like make grants for like ages that we are supposed to be in. Take for example, somebody who is 45 wants to still be on the podium with somebody who is 26. Take it or leave it, they don't have the same energy, they don't have the same innovative mind, they don't have the same capability again. So it gives rise that they are giving. So like I said earlier, once you are 35 years old, you should leave the stage for the younger ones that are coming on board. And you see it in the youth bill that they signed off recently. You would see that youth have been marginalized in politics, in almost all the sectors in Nigeria, which is giving rise to the fact that we are being sidelined. We are not allowed to get into the position of powers. We are not allowed to get into the corridors of decision making, which gives rise to the fact that is why the youth are not taking it into the hands to say, you guys, you need to see it. Once you are over 35 years, you don't call yourself a youth again. You can always come with the fact that you want to rally on the platform of the youth, but you are no longer a youth.
I'm going to ask you, what can someone who is above 35, can someone who, in Nigeria of present days, can someone who is between 15 and
For those age brackets, I think morals comes from the little ages, from like your kindergarten to your primary school education. I don't think morals are formed when you're adults.
You know, when I asked that, you know the reason I asked that question is, you said youth, let's say, okay, youths are, according to you, are marginalized. You've had youths in this country who had the opportunity to be in the position of leadership, and they messed up. I don't want to mention it. They messed up because, I mean, in corruption, they messed up. What would you say to that?
Yeah, definitely. For every age bracket, we have people who are messing up. But you still cannot just remove the fact that we have youths in Nigeria too that are doing fantastically well in the area of sports, in the area of entrepreneurship. We have Odwewini of Piggy Vest, we have Ajibola of Flutter Wave. Those guys are doing marginally. We are not saying youth cannot mess up, but we are saying the way a youth will be tackled online or in the political space is different from how you approach it an adult. If this man here is the commissioner of youth in Ondo State and he messes up, or maybe his plans are not even giving us results, I can easily walk up to him and say, young man, this is not what you're supposed to do. This is not the mandate that you are giving. But for the elderly ones, the respect that we are giving them does not give us rights to question their policies for us. So it gives rise to the question that we know that some youths are messing up, but that doesn't mean that we should still be negated, because we still have youths who are doing well across board.
Okay. You know, I was going to also say that even in American politics now, look at all the people who are jostling for the White House. You see,
he said he was not going to continue again. So it gives rise to the question that once you get to some certain age, you will not have energy and the capacity to deliver again. Sometimes you might have the experience, you might have the knowledge base, but now you don't have the energy to give us like what we are looking for. So that's why we are saying, give youth the chance.
In what ways do you think youths can be engaged to enhance nation development? At least mention some. I'm still coming to you.
Oh, thank you very much. First and foremost, I will talk about inclusivity. There are different sectors across the board, and every youth has his own talent, his own potentials. And I believe if they are all engaged in every sector, they will help in improving that sector because of the resilience of the youth, the passion, the energy, the ideas. Giving youth more percentage in the politics. What about the experience of where some people are even bringing up policies that they should increase the age of teachers? A lot of persons who have worked for over 30 years still want more time, while a lot of youth or a lot of their children are outside, they have not gotten job. Or have they forgotten that the job they could do at their early age is different from the job they could do at their later age? There's difference. A child who got employed at the age of 22, 23, the kind of job he's going to do from that age to the age of 45 is going to be fantastic, and he's going to move on well. He's going to have energy to impact more on large numbers of children and people than someone who is over 60. Now, as an entrepreneur, look at young guys who are doing faster, do well in their talents, their pool, and in their skills. Making. These are youth. For example, the SDG have a vision 2030, and they are saying no one should be left behind. But coming to our own area, are we not left behind already? Because I believe by now every state should have a vision. But if we are not having a vision of 2030, we are 2035 or vision 2040. And who are the ones setting up the policy? The old persons who probably at that time, I'm not saying, probably would be weak at that time, or you know more. But a youth at the age of 25, setting up a vision for 10, 15 years, will look at it to himself that at that age, it will still be active, it will still be. So you're going to put up a policy that is going to be all inclusive.
How can you fit into that SDGs?
Thank you very much. As a youth, because of our energy, community engagement, we need youth across. We have, in Ondo State, we have 18 local governments. To 55%. And across Nigeria, we have the percentage around 60 to 65%. Now in Ondo State, you want to, in community engagement, probably you have someone who have a career experience and setting up a formulating policies. You need a youth beside you to run around, to communicate with his peers appropriately. Just like my colleague here, if I want to communicate with him, it's different from the way I'll communicate with you. And someone who is older than you. And if you are going to communicate with me, it's going to be different from the way he's going to communicate with me. So that's a place where...
It's indirectly telling me that I'm not the youth.
No. You might be youthful in heart, but the reality is you're no more a youth. You're no longer a youth. And those are the things we should be talking about as at now. They have the energy. You have large numbers. And just pick someone who is active, who is dedicated, who has passion. Identify people who can lead among them, among the youth. He's going to communicate with other youth. He knows how to communicate with them. He knows what they want. He knows how to, for example now, probably he knows presently a lot of youth love sports. And probably I'm a football lover, and he's also a football lover. If you give me an assignment, I felt like I could not get across to him, but I know definitely, probably you go to the same view center. I'm going to get across to him.
I go to view center.
Yeah. That is one. But the way you relate with me, I cannot banter with you.
If you and I enter into sports argument, you can't defeat me.
Okay. However, in our energy, it's going to be different.
I understand you, Mr. Awuleye. The theme for this year's celebration is okay. Have they got to do with digital whatever?
From the comfort of your room, you can make money and touch the world now, which was not possible before. Now there are diverse ways of touching lives, of making impact with just your fingers. So it gives rise to the question that are we really harnessing the potentials of the youth of nowadays? Like I said earlier, Odunewenyi, she was the one who built PiggyVest. And PiggyVest has done over $8 billion in transactions. Just in Nigeria, we have the guys in Paystack. We have the guys in Paystack. We have a lot of products farmed to you. Who is doing a lot of numbers? We have power plug-in. We have power plug-in. Yeah, Onishoni Bide. We have Inya Aboyeji who
achievements.
I feel like the problem with Nigeria is we only celebrate success and we don't show up during the process stage, and it's a problem. During the last Olympics, we saw a shameful act online where a favor Philly who ran an eat and then was not registered for an event. It's somebody is supposed to get a sack there. So it gives rise to the question that Nigerians or Nigerian government does not celebrate you until you're out there. And which is a problem. So many youths are being marginalized in such a way that if they don't put in their efforts themselves, and then there's a limit to where you can push yourself. You see that thriving countries, they make sure that they are in the developmental phase of everybody, that they feel like this is a talent. You'd see US, they are giving scholarships to the best table tennis player in Nigeria. Whereas we have youth in Nigeria who trained but couldn't get the platform. Well, maybe because of biasness or because of the bureaucracy in the system. So it's a problem that Nigeria doesn't value you until you put a value on yourself.
Do you think that youths are not the problems of themselves?
It's in two sides. I'll be sincere. But first and foremost, it comes from the system. The youth, before you become a youth, you're a child, and that comes about, I'll go back to value, morals and values. And it's in the system. Presently, our values are going down, our morals are going down. And presently, corruption is eating us more. And presently, who are the aims of our faith? It's the adults. Now, we are asking for youth inclusivity. And looking at it now, it is what is but at the time need a finance and could not get it at that time. Probably have another thought and probably go another way. And I believe we need to have a reorientation in Nigeria, or orientation system where we could get to the grassroots, whereby a citizen will be patriotic to himself and to the country and to the state. Whereby whatever you have, whatever talent, whatever value you have, is going to affect you yourself, people around you, and the country and the state. But what about the system? Everybody keep complaining about the system, then definitely something is wrong. If the young are complaining about the system, the adults are complaining, then something is wrong. Then what do we do about the system? Let's change it. Let's change the perspective. But I believe the first thing is about orientation, because we have a lot of young girls and boys who has talent, who has potential, even not people who have not developed skills. There's a level. And looking at the young girl or the young boy, and they develop. It's the processing stage. They've already looked someone who has a talent, who can beat drum and things like that. You should know that, okay, in the music industry, this person will fit in. Someone who can play football, in the sports sector. But in our country, it is different. Someone who doesn't even have talent, who doesn't have the potential, will be seen up there. And what do you expect that kind of youth to do? Another thing is a waste. You're wasting our time.
Let me come in there. I see you blaming government for everything, but I want to also say that it comes from the parents. Look at a situation whereby some of our Nollywood actors read law. They are lawyers. They are learned, KRMD, Richard Mufedamijo, Funke Akindele, and yeah, some. I know overseas. I know that Michael didn't go to university. Late Michael Jackson didn't go to university. Shania Twain didn't go to university, or maybe they went to College of Music. Know, just as you are saying that they should be identified from when they was young. The problem is someone wants to be an actress, and the parents say no, you must go and do law. Leaving that place to come and going back to the theater or Nollywood to go and be acting. I want to believe that these problems, some of them started from the homes, or let me say start from the homes, because when you identify a child as someone with musical talents and all that, why do you have to tell the child to go to the university to go and read maybe theater arts? Or why don't you just take them one of the people who would have attended that school, but for parents' influence, how can you go and be dancing, So you understand. What do you have to say to that?
I don't want to agree with you that parents are majorly the cause of that. Datas are out there. Your chances of making it through talent in Nigeria is at the clearest. Let's be sincere with ourselves. So from the parent perspective, they are trying to safeguard the future of that child, because they know your chances of making it through music is not as high as your chances of making it through education, of going to school. That's just the fact out there. So parents want to be conservative enough to be sure that once you're outside of school, then you can now do whatever you want to do. So even eventually,
do you know what Davido went through with his dad before he became a
these rich people who are making waves in their craft, they have rich parents. Some of them have tried different things, but for a poor person who is coming from an humble background, you don't have that chance. And then there's no system in place to aid your progress. Now, you're saying you have a talent. Now you're battling between eating, having good food, taking care of your parents, and then still integrating yourself into the community. So it's like a problem until we have a system whereby it is in place that there's a process to whatever you are doing. Now there's a scarcity mentality in Nigeria, and that's why you see that everybody is feeling like it's just 1 of 10. You would even see that even most of our government initiatives, you are seeing apply for this, apply for that. There are no systems. We have people in abroad. Once you hit a certain threshold, maybe you are doing business, maybe you have hit your that you are making progress with your business. Do you need a loan? Do you need so there's a process, there's a system in place. But in Nigeria, the system in place is that you are struggling to get outside of here. And then your parents are scared that what if you don't get this thing done? And then let's take it for instance. How many children from the disadvantaged background make it through talent?
You're talking as if we don't have disadvantaged or less privileged people overseas.
Yeah, they're over there. But there are systems. That's why you'd see they have record label Universal Model. You would see Warner Bros. There are systems in place that you can key into. But in Nigeria,
what happens to the youth coming together to form a system?
Thank you very much.
Because I know that when you talk about youth, you want to talk about skill acquisition.
Yes.
You want to talk about new initiatives. Why don't youth? Because you have mentioned some youths who have come together. We see a lot of agencies and associations and outfits owned by or founded by youths. What happens to? Because I noticed that majority of Nigerian youths are into a lot of atrocities. They do drugs, do Yahoo, do some other things. Even from the university, before they graduate, you see a lot of them.
Thank you very much. Now, it comes into place, where do we place our value in our society? Now, before
is it government that will put value into?
Now, I want to talk about culture and homes. I want to talk about the background. Before and even till now, the Yoruba will say, and as every child, when we are growing up, this moral, there's this value, there's some things you don't do, and things like that. But use some of these cultures and this moral. Why some left it unguided? You give birth to a child and you don't know how the child is going to feel. You leave it to society, just take it away. And what do you expect? He's going to go back and do whatever he likes. Now, looking at the child over your life, you'll be saying, but I don't go okay. Or you just need to read your book, read your book, read your book. When you get home, you read your book. When you're in holiday, you read your book. Every other time, you can't even access. I've been beaten so many times because of football. And do you think by now I'm interested in football? No. No, I'm not interested because I felt it is, it's something I should not do. I cannot make it through it. And I left it. And those are the things. That's why it's coming up. And that's why we are talking about the system. Now I talk about orientation and reorientation. Now in our civilization stage, what are the things we gotten from that civilization? Have we not gotten some wrong mentality too from our civilization? What is the culture we are bringing into our system? Community development and patriotic and citizenship. No, most times if I'm the head of a sector or something like that, I'll input my own style of religion, my own style of rule, my own style of culture into it. Come to my office. In the developed world, irrespective of your hairstyle, irrespective of whatever the way you dress, as long as I'm giving you work, you're doing it, that's fine by me. But here, saw someone who has a talent, who can deliver. But the first thing you see is just like, oh, his eyelashes is too much, he's having hair on his hair. No, you should be cutting your hair low. Those are things that are not necessary, because all you need is just give him assignment, deliver. Now, he talks about in the other system, you have someone. No, I even have someone who is one of my mentors in ICT. He told me some months ago he was caught with now in Nigeria, in our state, we have a database. How do we know how many local governments in, probably in Akwa South local government or in Ward 1 and things like that? Those are our problems. Those are the foundations, and we are not looking at it. And that is why even you want to talk about youth and someone will come, for example me, I want to pick a lot of you, I'll put someone I like and I say, I've picked someone among the youth, and that's my close person. Even if you can deliver, I cannot. And you say you have picked youth. The word youth. I feel like, it's in your age bracket now, it's part of you now.
Let me ask you, if you were made SSA to the governor on something, youth, whatever, who are you going to pick? You won't pick any of your friends.
Now, thank you very much. There's friends, there's work, there's governance, there's politics, there's different things. If I'm appointed, I'm given an assignment. And that's why I talked about the word citizenship. You in front of me, I should know whatever system and policies I'm bringing in close to me is going to affect my future. And that's what you have at the back of your mind. And those are the things that will point my appointments and people bringing people close to me. But however, the experience tells, because I've met with so many people who are my friends, and even who are not my friends, but I know at this critical sector, these people can work with me and will deliver. And those are the people I should bring on board, irrespective of their religion, irrespective of their how close they are to me. And be able to source for talent in different sectors I want, to give me what I want and to deliver.
Let's talk about, you have talked partly about it, because I believe government may not be able to do everything for us, and that's why we have the private sector. How are youth doing in the private sector?
In the private sector, where I am, I run a logistics company, Simbi Logistics, that deals with that's what makes the private sector thrives. You are given a job, you must deliver. So it's not a question of are you a round peg in a round hole. So if you are not getting results, the data are there. I have a growth marketer, and then I give you a marketing budget of maybe 1 million naira, and then at the end of the quarter, maybe I'm expecting you to deliver maybe 5 million naira, and then you are telling me that you make just 200,000 naira. There's no conversation. You are going out. So unlike politics in Nigeria, we are not running politics based on results, and then without a result-driven system, you cannot drive impact. Without a result-based system, you cannot even check metrics, and that's why you'd see when you go to school, they would say if you hit this particular CGPA, you get this particular grade. So it's metric-based, but for if we try to question them, they'll feel like we are disrespecting them. That if we get there, we should change it. Like he said earlier.
Provide a solution to that.
The solution to it is that you must bring in people who have track record of character and competence. That's the solution. Anybody who is coming on board of any parastatal should have a track record of what he has done, how he has made impact, and what exactly are his policies and his reforms.
Aside from coming on this program to speak on what you feel about that, can't we have youth associations or outfits who can come together to stand as one body and offer all of these solutions to the government?
Yes, this is what we've been doing. We have an association in Ondo State, Ondo State Entrepreneurship Network, where we help people Now looking at it, if we have this type of base system, that cares for like the citizens of a country or the citizens of a particular state, it will give rise to impact and development.
How much of what you're doing does the youths around you know? Because they have to know. A lot of them may not even know that you are into this kind of, you said you visit youths to check how they're doing, or in their, that's entrepreneurship.
Yes, yes.
You check them. So how much of, communication are you into to let youth know that you are into that? Because a lot would have wanted to know how to go about whatever ideas they have.
Thank you very much. We've created a WhatsApp channel, we have a Twitter channel, and we have different means of communication. We are locals, so we know how to navigate the ecosystem. I think recently for like entrepreneurs, and then how they can plug themselves into it and make something for themselves. So we are not stopping at just talking. We are doing the work, and then we are getting people on board to make sure that their businesses are thriving, and then they are making progress in their respective field.
Okay, let's talk about social justice, human rights, and all that. In most cases, youths come out. We saw NSAS some days ago. We saw protests. Have they been able to achieve anything with all this agitation and advocacy?
Yeah, I would say yes. We are making progress. Far back as 2014, anytime I'm going to work, I'm always going to work in fear, because I'm always feeling like somebody will harass me. It was that bad day. Well, during the youths are now working freely. Though we are still having cases of some youths being harassed, being intimidated, but now there's now a conjunctive system whereby people are now being aware that no, this is not acceptable. The last protest that came on board too, I think there were agitations here and there that the living conditions are not favorable. The governor came out to say, this is what we are doing, this is what we are putting in place. And you see, I think it was last week, the National Youth Agency rolled out a grant and then loan system for youths in Nigeria. So I feel like they are getting the response, and then everybody is on their toes. You see, President Tinubu spoke to us recently too. He was talking about the reforms he was doing, and then what he's trying to put in place to make sure that we are we sit back, watch them, and then still continue to engage them to make sure that they do the right thing for us.
Okay, quickly, because our time is fast, let's talk about that statement made by President Buhari in 2018 that youths of Nigeria are lazy. What's your take on that?
If you don't engage youth, they are lazy. You can only say somebody is lazy if you don't engage them. And I feel like Nigerians as a whole, we have over 33% of youths who are unemployed. We have close to 22% of youths who are underemployed, which gives rise to the question that, are we really engaging our youths? In the different creative fields, in technology, in business, in entrepreneurship, are we engaging our youth? And that is why we are giving rise to the government. We have formidable youth. But there is no enabling environment, which is the fault of the government.
What's your take on that statement by former President Buhari?
My take is the youth who...
So I know that a lot of people, if they had the opportunity, would have cut his head off.
The youth who are teaching young students in a private school, who have only 25,000 surviving and still taking care of his aged mother and father, is he lazy? The youth who is in the farm day and night producing for the country, is he lazy? The youth who are out there hawking in the streets, are they lazy? Me, I felt probably maybe it's because of age, because I felt it's a slip of tongue saying someone, a youth is lazy. Even the youth, when it comes to our forces, are the youth are the most more people over there. And these are the same youth we're saying it's basic. No. What I would want to say is just like the two things that are most important. To believe in their hope. Now we are looking at the NSAS protest. Now we've already gotten results even before the protest. I told people the results are always been there. They have been, running NSAS, trying to engage the youth, and these are the results. Now a lot of people don't know about NY youth investment for, don't know about NFO, and those are the things they've started, and those are the things we want from the government.
Mr. Daudu. Well, something struck me. We're about to sign up now. Something struck me, and I really felt bad about it because I know of youths in Nigeria who are less than 30 years of age and they are hypertensive because of all the stress they go through and all that. And we are speaking to the government, well-meaning individuals, to come out. The youths are celebrating today. It shouldn't just be on paper. It shouldn't just be word of the mouth. It should be something that people see, something that takes our youth out of the clouds, into the limelight. Because I heard recently of a boy less than 30 years who is fending for his mom and dad, and he had hypertension untreated for 4 years. He almost had kidney failure. You can imagine such a thing. So we have talked about youth today, and youths of Nigerians are ready to work. They are ready to go the extra mile to make this country a better place, and of course I believe it's the same all over the world. We have done justice to that today. We wish we had more time. My guests have been Mr. Olawale Awoleye, digital strategist and entrepreneur. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
And we also had I have Osrc, Daudu, Deputy Coordinator, North Ondo State Youth Network. Thank you so much.